He's a whining, whinging, complaining, woe is me, I'm the only one that's ever had mental problems.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend. And she is the moment.
Kelly Osbourne didn't just throw shade. She went all in, straight up blasting Prince Harry as nothing more than a whining complainer who loves to play the victim. She said he acts like he's the only person in the world who's ever had problems, and the way she said it had people's jaws on the floor. But she didn't stop there. Oh no! She turned her fire straight toward Meghan and hit her even harder.
Harry is an idiot. He signed up to fight in the Afghanistan war. That was a dumb move. You're a f***ing prince. What are you doing that shit for?
Kelly pointed out that Harry and Meghan had been handed golden opportunities that most people could only dream of. Spotify deals, Netflix contracts, endless media attention, and millions of dollars in backing. And yet, they fumbled every single bag. Instead of delivering powerful content,
You've been handed the world and every major contract, you had podcasts, you have all of this, and you didn't deliver because
There's nothing to deliver.
Yeah, because you don't have it. And that's okay. And I think they do have a right to privacy, but that doesn't seem to me what they're looking for.
they gave the world next to nothing, and Kelly made sure everyone knew it. The most savage part? She compared their wasted chances to her own family. And let's be real, when someone from the famously wild and chaotic Osborne clan calls you out for wasting opportunities, that's when you know it's serious. Kelly basically stamped the Sussexes as the ultimate underachievers, and the internet hasn't stopped buzzing since.
You know, they were given far too much importance because what do they do?
And just when you thought it couldn't get any darker, another shocking moment surfaced. One that has everyone replaying it in disbelief. Alexandra Drio came forward and revealed how Meghan's actions didn't just spark drama, they ruined her life. The way Alexandra described what Meghan did was so unhinged, so reckless, it left people speechless. Watching it back feels almost unreal, and yet the pain in her words makes it all too clear. Meghan's impact goes far beyond headlines. It's personal, and it's heartbreaking.
Turns out Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will still get paid millions of dollars for doing absolutely nothing. And that's just by Netflix.
We'll circle back to Alexandra's story soon, but first, let's check out what Kelly's mother, Sharon Osborne, had to say about Meghan and Harry. And trust me, she didn't hold back one bit. Sharon tore into them with zero hesitation, saying exactly what so many in the industry have been whispering for years. And here's the kicker. Sharon wasn't alone. The whole entertainment world has been side-eyeing the Sussexes, and it all came bubbling to the surface when comedian Joe Coy cracked that now famous Golden Globes joke. The joke landed so hard because the entire room, packed with A-list celebrities, knew the numbers. Everyone knew that Netflix shelled out a staggering $100 million to Harry and Meghan.
I said Meghan Markle is, of course, a lifelong feminist, which she's demonstrated by marrying a prince and giving up her job.
Sure, their first documentary pulled in some initial views, but since then, crickets. Archwell Productions has been nearly silent, collecting checks without producing anything worthwhile. While other Netflix creators keep pumping out hit after hit, the hypocrisy was impossible to ignore, and the laughter at that joke told the whole story. But the criticism didn't stop at their empty output. Sharon went even deeper, cutting right into the heart of Meghan's sudden success.
You've got a great life, you've got a beautiful family, you're so much in love. Move on, get a life, move on. And they just can't seem to because their living is by telling their truth on the royal family. That's how they make their living.
Before Harry, Meghan was just another supporting actress on a cable show, pulling in about $50,000 per episode. Respectable, sure, but far from the global powerhouse deals she's now attached to. Fast forward to her life with Harry, and suddenly she's negotiating contracts worth hundreds of millions. The glow-up speaks for itself, and Sharon wasn't afraid to imply that the marriage may have been less about love and more about leverage. And to make it worse, Sharon highlighted their constant obsession with rehashing the past instead of creating a real future. Take Harry's memoir Spare, for example. It sold like wildfire at first, but readers quickly realized it was page after page of royal grudges and family grievances. Nothing fresh, nothing visionary, just more whining packaged as a tell-all.
It's all just craziness going around and around, and he's turned his life and the royal family's life into a soap opera.
Think about it. Every single project Harry and Meghan touch seems to circle back to the same tired theme. Their Netflix doc? All about escaping the royals. Their Oprah sit-down? All about claims of royal racism. And when Harry dropped Spare, it wasn't just a memoir. It was an explosive diary that revealed private conversations with King Charles and Prince William, even exposing intimate family fights and physical clashes. That's not storytelling.
cuddly, lovey, holding hands, going everywhere together. It's so disingenuous. It's like, come on.
That's monetizing your relatives. And while they parade around clinging to each other with non-stop hand-holding and exaggerated displays of affection, the contrast couldn't be sharper when you compare them to William and Kate. The Prince and Princess of Wales have been married longer, yet they rarely put on that kind of show at official events. Same goes for Hollywood couples. Most don't feel the need to constantly prove their love with forced PDA at every single appearance. The difference is glaring, and Sharon was quick to point it out. But maybe her most brutal observation had nothing to do with Meghan and Harry directly. It was about their kid's future. Archie, now 5, has reportedly only met King Charles a handful of times. And little Lilibet? Named after the late Queen, yet she barely had the chance to know her at all.
You just think about her children. They have no family. They have their grandmother, Meghan's mum. That's it. There's no cousins, no aunts and uncles, no other grandparents. There's 2 little babies that have grown up that will never meet or know their cousins because they're not growing up with them.
These children are growing up fully American, with almost no real connection to their royal bloodline or their British heritage. Sharon didn't sugarcoat it. She called it tragic. And when you zoom out, the pattern becomes even clearer. Remember Archewell Audio? Their big Spotify deal launched with flashy announcements back in 2020, and then collapsed, canceled not long after. Next came the Netflix deal. Another flashy start, with documentaries that grabbed quick headlines but fizzled just as fast. Sharon spelled it out. This isn't a streak of bad luck. It's a cycle of big promises, short-lived hype, and disappointing delivery. And then came Meghan's latest move, the big launch of American Riviera Orchard, her glossy lifestyle brand. Another shiny new project added to their endless list, even though half their old ones are still collecting dust.
I think they're totally lost. You know, one minute they're making a cartoon, then they're doing a documentary on them, now they're saving the world. They just haven't found their path in life yet.
Critics have been quick to point out that the Sussexes don't finish what they start, and the comedy world wasted no time jumping in to roast them for it. South Park absolutely nailed the contradiction that's been staring everyone in the face. How can you demand normal lives while Meghan is still chasing Hollywood lights? You can't star in your own Netflix shows, stroll every red carpet, pose at high-fashion events, and surround yourself with A-list celebrities, only to cry about having too much attention. That kind of double talk was begging to be mocked, and South Park didn't hold back one bit.
We just want to be normal people. All this attention is so hard. Isn't it true, sir, that your questionable wife has her own TV show and hangs out with celebrities and does fashion magazines?
The Instagram-loving wife jab cut especially deep because the receipts don't lie. When Meghan launched American Riviera Orchard on Instagram, her follower count exploded overnight. The numbers proved she knows exactly how to work social media when it boosts her brand, even while pretending she hates the spotlight. And it wasn't just South Park piling on. The British satire show Spitting Image made the same point, clowning them for their so-called quiet life in California.
What are you suggesting? Well, I just think some people might say that your Instagram-loving wife actually doesn't want her privacy. How dare you, sir? My Instagram-loving wife has always wanted her privacy.
Think about it. They didn't retreat to some private countryside escape. They moved into Montecito, one of the priciest and most celebrity-packed neighborhoods in America, right next door to Oprah. That's not privacy, that's swapping the royal court for the Hollywood Hills, carefully picking which spotlight they want to stand in. Even respected voices couldn't resist weighing in. John Oliver, a comedian who usually keeps things sharp but measured, openly questioned whether Meghan and Harry were even capable of real growth. And when someone like him doubts your evolution, it stings, because he said what many already believe.
In California, we're just a regular couple living close to Oprah and far from the paparazzi. Woo! But not too far.
That the Sussexes are trapped in their own contradictions, and they can't see a way out. Coming from John Oliver, a guy who usually keeps things witty but balanced, his words landed like a hammer. If he's calling out Meghan and Harry for being stuck in toxic cycles with zero self-awareness, that's damning.
I don't think they will change because I don't think they have the capacity to, but they obviously should.
It sent a ripple through the industry because Oliver rarely throws punches unless he's certain. And right after that moment, Sharon Osborne stepped in with her most ominous prediction yet. And it chilled everyone listening. Sharon has seen enough celebrity marriages explode to know the early signs. She listed them one by one: the endless craving for validation, the deliberate distance from family, the constant need to stir up controversy just to keep the money rolling.
It's going to end very, very badly, and I don't know why. It's like history repeating itself.
She warned that this cocktail almost never ends well, especially in the cutthroat world of fame. And then she dropped the hardest truth of all. It's their approach to family matters that might be the biggest red flag. Think about it. The royal family has kept their lips sealed through all of Harry's bombshell claims. His book Spare, the Oprah interview, every headline. The palace hasn't responded, not once. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan keep running media tours, controlling the entire narrative with only their side of the story.
I haven't from day one been into the fact of, talking about private things that went on in the royal family when they were a part of it. And the thing is, it's just their point of view. We haven't had the other point of view.
Sharon didn't sugarcoat it. She said dragging private family issues into the spotlight is not just bad taste, it's a guaranteed way to destroy trust forever. Her words cut deep because they rang true. As Sharon bluntly put it, don't bring it to the public. Nobody wants to know about it. Every family has issues, every family has dysfunction, but you're supposed to handle those problems behind closed doors, not package them up as entertainment and sell them to the highest bidder.
Don't bring it to the public. Nobody wants to know about it. Every family has problems. Keep it to yourself.
And when someone like Sharon, who's lived decades inside celebrity chaos, calls it out that sharply, people pay attention. But as harsh as the industry has been, none of their criticism could touch the impact of Alexandra Rio's story about Meghan. What Alexandra revealed was so gut-wrenching that it left people genuinely heartbroken. And trust me, we'll get to that in just a moment. First though, Sharon Osborne shared something about Meghan's family life that set the stage for a brutal comparison.
The Dario story about Meghan. What she said was so heartbreaking that I genuinely feel bad for.
Sharon opened up about her own father, a man who caused her serious financial harm by exploiting her in his business dealings. She admitted she had to pay out millions because of his mistakes, and the damage left scars that lasted for years. But here's the kicker. Despite all that betrayal, Sharon still forgave him. When her father's health collapsed, she stepped up, became his caregiver, and put family above everything else. That level of loyalty doesn't come easy, and Sharon was clear. It's the price you pay when blood is blood. And then she turned the focus back to Meghan. The contrast was devastating.
Should she go to her father? Yes, she should. I didn't talk to my father for 18 years. He used me in his companies and all of that.
Meghan severed ties with her own father, Thomas Markle, not because he drained her finances or sabotaged her career, but because he staged a few paparazzi photos and gave interviews to the press. Embarrassing? Sure. But compared to Sharon's nightmare, those mistakes cost Meghan absolutely nothing. Sharon's story exposed the difference between real grievances and perceived slights. She took blows that nearly ruined her financially, yet she chose forgiveness. Meghan, on the other hand, cut her father off permanently over missteps that barely scratched her.
Millions and millions I had to pay because my father got me in the crap. But the situation is, when he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, I went to him and took care of him because he's my father.
And if Sharon's example didn't already paint Meghan in a harsh light, hearing from Thomas Markle himself made things exponentially worse, because his words weren't just bitter, they were explosive. Thomas Markle's words land like a punch to the gut. He pointed out that even convicted criminals get visits from family while serving time in prison, yet he has been treated worse, permanently exiled over one mistake. His crime? Staging a few paparazzi photos before the royal wedding.
There are axe murderers in prison. Their family comes to see them, right? I mean, I'm not an axe murderer. I made one dumb mistake, and I'm never being forgiven.
For that, Meghan cut him off completely, and Thomas called it out as a level of unforgiveness that's nearly impossible to justify. What makes it sting even more is how much his version lines up with what other observers have noticed. Thomas said it's clear that Harry seems to be under Meghan's influence, repeating lines on television that end up torching his own family ties. Comedians like Tim Dillon and commentators across the board have echoed the same thing. Harry doesn't sound like himself anymore, and it's Meghan who appears to be pulling the strings. But the moment that broke everyone's heart came when Thomas was asked about his last real interaction with his daughter.
I think she's taking advantage of a very weakened man and getting him to say things that you just shouldn't be saying on television.
He recalled suffering a heart attack just 2 days before her wedding. He was hospitalized, alone, and that turned out to be the last time he ever spoke to Meghan. She married Harry, moved across the ocean, had 2 children, and never once reached out to check if her own father survived. Not a call, not a message, nothing. Now at 77 years old, Thomas admits he's facing the harsh reality that his time is limited. He may leave this world never having met his grandchildren. Archie and Lilibet will grow up without even knowing their grandfather existed, his presence erased from their lives before it even began. And yet, here's the most shocking part. Despite being shut out so completely, Thomas doesn't lash out with hatred. Instead, he still offers Meghan advice that's surprisingly calm, even reasonable. The man she cut off is the same man now urging her to think about reconciliation before it's too late.
Do you still love your daughter?
Of course I do. I love my children. I love my other daughter. I love my son. Of course I love her.
Do you think she still loves you?
Like I said, I haven't spoken to her since I was laying in a hospital bed 2 days before they got married.
Thomas Markle's tone toward Harry was surprisingly gentle. Instead of bitterness, he gave genuine advice. Stop trashing the royals in public and put the energy into repairing family ties. Coming from a man who's been cut off so coldly, his words carried weight. And that's what made Meghan's decision to exile her father look even harsher by comparison. Because while Thomas extended an olive branch, Meghan slammed the door shut. But the drama didn't stop with family. The final story showed how Meghan's presence can upend the lives of people who have absolutely nothing to do with her drama. Enter Alexandra Rio, a regular woman who just wanted to do yoga in peace.
Do you worry that you might never meet these two grandchildren?
July 18th, I'll be 77 years old. Most of the Markle men don't make it much past 80. So there's a good chance I might never see my grandchildren.
She went to Modo Yoga in New York, a studio she'd been faithfully attending for years. It was her personal space, her place of routine and calm, until Meghan walked through the door. That one visit from Meghan flipped Alexandra's entire routine upside down. The moment word spread, the studio became a circus. Fans, paparazzi, and even celebrity gawkers swarmed the place just to catch a glimpse of Meghan. Classes were impossible to book, the quiet space was gone, and Alexandra's once normal workouts became an ongoing headache. That's the Meghan effect in action. She doesn't just attract attention, she creates chaos wherever she goes. And when you stack that story against everything else, the picture is brutal.
Do you have any advice for Harry?
Yeah, stop talking about the royals. Stop giving away all the secrets about the royals. And love your children and love your wife. But also love your grandmother and love your father.
And your father-in-law.
From Kelly Osbourne's unfiltered takedown, to Sharon Osbourne's systematic breakdown, to Thomas Markle's heartbreaking pleas, and finally to Alexandra's yoga nightmare, the pattern is undeniable. Meghan and Harry haven't just alienated the palace. They've alienated Hollywood, comedians, critics, and even ordinary people just trying to live their lives. What started as a fairy tale has now turned into a saga of rejection from every angle imaginable. The fallout goes way deeper than just being roasted on late-night TV or mocked in satire skits. When your own father is forced to go on camera begging just to see his grandchildren, when industry insiders openly question if you're even capable of growth.
Is this true that Meghan Markle has ruined your workout regime? Is this true? If so, how?
Yes, she has.
How?
And when random celebrities complain that your mere presence ruins their daily routines, that's when you stop being the underdog and officially become the problem everyone avoids. Think about it. Thomas Markle is 77 years old, and he's coming to terms with the heartbreaking reality that he may never meet Archie or Lilibet. Alexandra can't even roll out her yoga mat in her favorite New York studio anymore, all because Meghan's one-time visit turned it into a paparazzi hotspot.
New York last weekend,
Yeah.
and she went to a yoga place called Modo Yoga, which is my yoga place. It's
Right.
where I always go.
And the entertainment industry? They don't treat Meghan and Harry as serious players anymore. They treat them as punchlines, as memes, as content. Every relationship they touch seems to crumble the same way, with distance, disappointment, and very public criticism. This is the cycle Sharon Osborne warned about. When you refuse to forgive your father for one mistake, but demand the world forgives every one of yours. When you cry out for privacy while chasing red carpets and sponsorships. When you claim to protect your children, but cut them off from half their heritage. And when even comedians, insiders, and ordinary people start uniting against you, it's no longer just a bad look.
We have places in LA and New York, but now that she went there, everyone's going to want to go there.
Right.
And there's not going to be any room. It's going to be harder to get into.
It's total rejection. So here's the real question. How do Meghan and Harry bounce back from this? Can Thomas Markle ever hold his grandchildren? Or is this rift permanent? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I want to hear what you think. And don't forget, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one for even more royal drama.